You actually talked about that in next episode.
Let me start that just section.
Yeah.
Just going to do that. So Yay, you're here. Welcome to How to Be a Grown-Up with CK and GK. Let's get started.
Hello.
Hi.
When I was younger, I had a cousin who I was playing hide and seek with once, and she goes, "Hello, I'm in the closet." And it was the cutest. Oh, I'll never forget it. So, hello. Welcome to How to Be a Grown-Up. This is the show that is all about how to be a grown-up with hosts who sometimes learn to do things right before we teach them to you. So,
Sounds about right.
When I was a first-year teacher, third-year teacher, sometimes I was learning the content right before the kids showed up, so it happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Caitlin, and with me today, co-hosting for Jenny as she recovers from her surgery, is Ariella Monti, the author of the fabulous novel Roots in Ink. And she is, if you don't know her, the human equivalent of a perfectly toasted marshmallow.
Oh, I like that.
Best. Just the best.
I like that.
Warm and toasty.
Yeah.
We are continuing our Spring into Self-Care series again today. I wanted to kind of not walk back, that's not the right term. I want to start by saying a lot of what we've been doing is kind of telling you about your own self-care habits that you can or you should be doing, and not necessarily validating the little things you already are doing that are self-care. So in particular, I'm thinking about the things that don't fit that traditional mold of self-care.
Right. Yeah.
You know, which, again, if you haven't listened to our episode on hobbies for self-care, that was a really good one. That's a non-traditional form of self-care. People don't necessarily think of that. So go listen to that one because that one was great. So they might not look like self-care to others, but they feel like it for you.
They are very cup-filling activities or rituals.
Mm-hmm. And my hope is that by sharing some of these things that have come to mind, you identify with them and you think like, oh yeah, you know, that is a form of self-care for me. You're right. I am doing that already. I'm not completely neglecting my self-care. So shout out to Reddit for some of these, because these are brilliant. And some of these are sourced from the ether, myself, probably Ariella at some point in time when she told me what to do and I told her not to tell me what to do, and then did it anyway. So I want to start with the very, very basic things. And the reason I'm starting here is because we don't necessarily think of them as self-care, but they are, because they are a form of self-love. And in particular, these things might be especially difficult for people at certain seasons of your life. So getting up out of bed, self-care.
Yeah.
If you haven't been able to do that for a while, maybe you're ill, maybe you had surgery, maybe you just can't. If you sat up today, that's
huge.
That's huge. You sat up in your bed instead of lay down, give yourself credit for that because you did something special for yourself. Brushing your teeth and flossing. You should be flossing, folks. Just saying. We talked about this too. There was a whole episode on how to do this the right way. Sometimes, and maybe I should link that in the episode. Anyway, sometimes though, that's hard.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Bathing or taking a shower. Sometimes that's hard. The number of times I have been like, I don't want to. But then I get in it and I'm like, I'm never getting out. Out. But for some people, just doing that is difficult, whether it's depression or you are physically unable to do it yourself. Those things deserve to be considered self-care. Going to sleep, especially if it's at a consistent time, or you're super busy, you're pulling an all-nighter and you're going, you know what? I just can't anymore. I need to go to bed. That is self-care.
That's something where I've been falling
Me too.
It's been falling through the cracks, is getting
sleep.
The past 2 nights I've tried to, I set a new alarm. Oh, here you go. If you're having trouble getting to bed, set an alarm that says, hey, you, go to bed.
Yeah, but be nice to yourself in it, because I'm inclined to be like, hey, you dummy, go to sleep. But then I just feel bad about myself, so don't do that. Just say, hey, go to bed.
No, yeah, go to bed. Get ready for bed. And the past couple of nights, that has been very helpful for getting me at least moving into my room. Yeah, exactly.
For some people, eating or eating healthfully or stopping eating when you feel full. All of those things I would consider self-care. Mm-hmm. Taking your medications. This is new for me in that, I mean, not pharmaceuticals in general, because listen, I'm unhinged, right? But there are new ones now that I'm using that actually impact my physical health in addition to my mental health. And that is hard for me to admit that I need these other medications. And so I'm looking at taking them as, yes, you're taking your supplements that are supposed to be helpful for you, and also you're taking this other thing that will make you feel better.
Right. Yeah.
Going outside to feel the sun on your skin.
That's my favorite one.
And it can be so, like, there are some days where I don't go outside. What?
Yeah.
Why am I not going outside? I mean, today it's gloomy and rainy, and I that's different. But it also means that I can, like, sit near a window and read a book. Mm-hmm. But if this is, if the basics are difficult for you, please consider those few minutes of being outside to feel the sun on your skin self-care. If you did any of these today that you didn't do yesterday, that's a win. And I'm proud of you for doing that. So here are some other things that you might already do, or that you are like, oh, that's so cute, I want to do that. And they're I'm calling them pleasantries, pleasant things.
Yeah.
Some of these are things we've been talking about, right? Taking time for your hobbies, reading, crafting, gaming. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you this. I have to tell you this. I'm going to stand up for just a second. I have to tell you. You inspired me because you said it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to do it when it came to your hobbies. And this is not perfect at all. But look, I finished his little hat.
Oh, it is so cute.
So we've talked about my crocheted Snoopy. He now has the World War I flying ace hat and goggles and a scarf that I crocheted for him. It's crooked, but it's done and it's mine. So the stitches are good. I just put the goggles on crooked. But it's not perfect, and that's okay because it's done and it's mine, and I'm proud of that. So
it's so cute.
That was my little moment of self-care for the week. I've found a lot of enjoyment in that. So doing things like that, if you're someone who likes to play games, whether board games or electronic video games, things like that, gaming should count, hiking, reading, all of these things that you find enjoyment in on the side that are not side hustle types of things, right? Mm-hmm. Indulgences, things like yummy snacks you don't always have in the house. That is not Pop Chips. Pop Chips are always in my house. Taking yourself to lunch with just a book for company. One of my friends who I work with, we were in London together earlier this year, and she just was like, I'm on a date. And I was like, what? Like, I don't, tell me, you're married and your husband lives in Copenhagen. She's like, no, I'm on a date with myself. I'll be there in a little bit. And I was like, oh, how sweet is that? Like, what a nice thing to do. A relaxing bath or a spa day, or just going and getting a massage, or in my case, going to the chiropractor and having her crack all the things and put them back where they belong. I would consider those to be pleasantries. One of my favorite things that I've seen we're going to talk about some tiny ones here in a minute, but there is a trend online right now, or maybe it's not a trend, or it's just a tiny post that I keep seeing, but there's someone online who keeps posting all of these little whimsical things that they're seeing throughout the day that people do. So I think the question is like, what's a whimsical thing you do that just makes you happy? And some of these are those, and some of them just were so cute that I felt like I had to share. So these just made me smile that you might be doing self-care moments. Silk or satin jammies. What? How amazing. Puppy videos. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
How that, right? Like, that's so sweet. Just like a little moment of self-care. Do you watch puppy videos? Do they make you happy? Yes. I like to watch the ones of pandas where they're rolling around all over the ground and being stupid. Those are my favorite. An everything shower. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about.
It's like do all the things.
Where you wash your hair, you shave your legs, you exfoliate, then you put on lotion afterwards, and then you dry your hair. Like an everything get ready.
Yep.
I personally would put those in this other unpleasant category because those made me crazy. But if I don't have to dry my hair afterwards, I don't mind as much. Anyway, I thought this idea was brilliant. They look at Google Arts and Culture, which if you didn't know, that is a thing. There's like all these different types of Google Scholar, Google Books, Google, all these different things. But one of them is Arts and Culture. And you can explore museums and do deep dives into various artists and their work.
That's amazing.
Isn't that so? If you're an art lover or you just want to, like, I can just see that being so special. You're just doing it from your bed. What a great moment of taking care of yourself and doing something that interests you. I love that. Mm-hmm. Another tiny pleasant thing that is self-care. Iced coffee. Some of us are like, no, that's a necessity. But if it's a necessity for you and then you partake in it, then I would consider it part of your self-care, right?
Yeah.
Or your beverage of choice, especially if that is in your favorite container. I have a container that I use for my coffee, my coffee, and I want my coffee in that. That's where it tastes the best in my brain.
I've got my mug that says motivated by spite and powered by spite.
Powered by spite.
Yeah, powered by spite, and it's got a vulture on it. It's by effing birds. And I
love that account. It's so good.
I love that mug, and that is what I drink my coffee in the morning because I am powered by spite.
I mean,
and caffeine.
Yeah, those two things for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And ADHD medication.
Yep. Because when I don't know if you know, if you don't take your ADHD meds, are you tired? I am. Yes. Even with caffeine, I'm still really tired. Mm-hmm. I mean, which makes sense. It's a stimulant, but it's just, I'm very tired. Anyway, this happens rarely for me, but you mentioned it and it's absolutely true. Sitting in the car after you pull into the driveway or wherever you park your car to finish a great song or a podcast or a chapter of an audiobook or whatever it is, or just sit there in silence. That's a vibe.
That is my most regular form of self-care, I would say.
It feels good. Why does sitting in the car in those moments feel good? If it's traffic, like, just no. Right. But if it's just like, if I'm early to something and I just sit in the car for a few minutes, like, that just feels good.
It's a good transition.
Yeah.
Transition from like the stress of driving. Because even if you like don't find driving stressful, your brain is doing so much when you're driving, to like keep from getting into a car accident.
Yeah.
And I think we're just so used to it that we don't even like realize how exhausting it probably is.
Yeah.
And the just like sitting there it feels like a relief, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also like, if I'm in a place, and this is probably really common, any place that uses air conditioning a lot, like Texas, but it'll be really cold in that space. And then you get to your car and before you feel like it's an inferno, it feels like warm and happy.
Yes.
That is that's a moment of self-care for me. It's just like sitting in that warmth to warm my body up before I need the air conditioning again. Just feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Speaking of cars and quiet, silence. If you experience silence in your life, parents, am I right? Any sort of silence, consider that self-care.
Yes. Yeah.
And naps. whether they're yours, which I'm pushing for in an ideal world, you'd get your own, but when your child is napping. I miss nap time.
Me too.
Now I take nap time, not always.
I can't remember the last time I took a nap.
Oh, it was like 2 weeks ago for me. I will. I've gotten to the point, I mean, and this is part of why I'm taking medication, but I've gotten to the point where I'm like, it's 2:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday. I cannot stay awake. I'm going to go take a nap. Bye. And I will Irish goodbye on my family and go take a nap.
But see, I can't nap. Like, I can't do short naps. If I take a nap, I'm going to be out for like 2-3 hours.
Oh, see, mine's not 2 or 3 hours, but I can do like a good hour and a half.
No, I will. If I take a nap, it's like the rest of the day is like gone, which is what generally keeps me from purposely taking a nap. Like, if I like fall asleep on the couch or something, then I'll probably never really fall asleep that deeply. But if I purposely take a nap, I gotta consider the day done.
That's interesting. I have, I use a Headspace app, the Headspace app, and there's a doze soundtrack there that will play for an hour. And I have trained my body that I turn it on, my body relaxes, usually takes about 10-15 minutes or so to relax. And then when the sound stops, usually is when my body will wake up. So I can get in and out in about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm not a 15-minute napper. Those people who can do that,
no,
I cannot do that. Bless you. That's
amazing.
I'm so jealous of those people. I would love to do it, but I just can't do it. Another tiny pleasantry that you should consider self-care. Your favorite meal.
Yeah.
Wherever it's from. If it's homemade, amazing. If it's from the fast food chain down the street, that's also amazing. If it's your favorite meal, that's self-care.
Sometimes a cheesy gordita crunch from Taco Bell is self-care.
When I had no dollars in college and a $2 Taco Bell meal was gourmet, oh man, sometimes it just hits the spot.
Right.
Hugs, guys, as cheesy as that sound, hugs are self-care. I'm
a great hugger.
You are a great hugger.
I love giving hugs, yeah.
Oh.
It's because I'm a marshmallow.
That's called a callback.
We're circling back
to that. Ugh, no, we don't use those terms. I have to say also, there are some unpleasant things that you might be doing. We've talked about a few of these before, but these are unpleasant things that I would also consider to be self-care. And to clarify why they're unpleasant, these are things that we dislike, but they make future us feel better. Like writing down all of my tasks for work the next day when I just want to be done with work is something that makes morning Caitlin not hate evening Caitlin. So I would consider that to be self-care.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone on Reddit volunteered this definition, which I really liked, which was real self-care is about creating space to function again. It's not about escaping your responsibilities. It's about making them less chaotic to carry. Oh,
yeah.
I thought that was beautiful. So, deep cleans in your house. I would consider that to be unpleasant, but it feels good when it's done. And you can turn it to a pleasant thing if someone else does it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Along with cleaning, a kitchen reset. If you're one of those people who's like, you can't stand coming into a dirty kitchen in the morning because it just feels like it's already awful in your house, you taking that time to do that at night is self-care. Washing dishes, counters, wiping down, etc.
I would even say something that I do when the dopamine hits is kind of pick up all like the little trashy bits that kind of get left around places, you know, like on counters and stuff. This happens kind of in my bathroom where I'll just start picking stuff up and either tossing it or putting it back where it belongs.
Yeah, tidying.
Yeah, so it's not even like a clean. It's more just like a clearing.
Yeah, it's a tidy. It's a space not cluttered thing. That feels good too. I would also say that this goes for other things that you clean. My favorite unpleasant clean thing is when you change the bedding. Because as much as I hate changing the bedding and doing the laundry that goes with the bedding, I love getting into a fresh bed at night. And one of those whimsical things I saw was someone says when she does that, she puts on her silk jammies or her like fancy jammies and she calls it fancy sleep. Like how cute is that?
That is fancy.
Right?
That is fancy.
Fancy sleep. So sweet. Other deep cleans, this person was talking about when they deep clean their retainer.
Oh.
I'm so glad someone asked the question for me, but they were like, excuse me, what does that look like? And the answer was like, most of the time, you know, I brush it or I put it in, some people put it in mouthwash or like Polydent or something, or those tablets. But this is when they put it in their ultrasonic cleaner.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Deep cleaning your jewelry or getting it back from like when you take it to a jewelry shop and it's clean and it's all hot. I love that feeling where it's like
I have
warm.
never cleaned my jewelry.
Really?
No.
Oh, it feels good. You can use toothpaste if it's not too abrasive.
I think the last time I cleaned my jewelry, I think I cleaned my engagement ring. Like almost 12 years ago.
You can take them to jewelry shops and if you're nearby one and just say like how long would it take to clean it or how much would it cost. A lot of them will clean it for free, so. A
lot of my good jewelry is like packed away because I'm saving it for the impending apocalypse.
Oh.
And so I have stuff to trade.
I was prepared to like really lecture you on the self-care moment here and be like, listen, you can't take it with you. Just wear it, right? But listen, here, I see why you're...
a lot of it is gold. And like, I don't wear gold. Like, you know,
it would look good
I'm an Italian girl from Long Island. Like, of course I have gold.
Yeah, it would look good on you.
I don't actually look. I'm a cool.
You're a cool
toned person. Yeah, so I look better in silver, but I refuse to. Yeah, but
anyway, this is not relevant.
No. But in any case, I don't
wear it.
I don't wear. Yeah, I don't wear it because it's all gold, and I don't think I look good in it.
I just thought.
So I'm just saving it.
I just thought of a pleasant thing, and Jenny has said this before. Use the stickers.
Yes.
Wear the jewelry. Burn the candles that are nice. Yes.
Stickers.
Use the stickers.
Yeah. Use the stickers. Yeah. Use the stickers.
Okay. Back to the unpleasant things.
Sorry.
So cleaning jewelry, cleaning grandma's silver. I always hated doing that. And then I learned you can use hot water and vinegar and a ball of foil and watch the tarnish just like come off of stuff. Like it just literally melts away. And now I like to clean. That's how I clean my jewelry, and I also will clean my grandmother's, the spoons that she gave me.
There is something really satisfying. I don't have any fancy silver like that, but my mom does, and I remember being a kid, like there is something really satisfying about like watching the tarnish just disappear.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also use the china and use the silver. If someone has spoons, use the spoons for your tea. Use them for your cereal. It just feels good. Fancy cereal.
That's what we did. All of like the fancy china that we inherited, because we didn't ask for it for our wedding, because we inherited it. It was just sitting in our credenza like for Christmas and Thanksgiving. And I was like, screw this. We're using it every day.
Yeah.
So now my cats eat off of Mikasa.
Oh. So get it.
Fancy.
If you're someone who's worried about them getting messy, we've talked about this before, you could put like a clear plastic plate over it. And then like if you have a knife that's gonna, it's gonna scratch it, you could do that. Anyway, but use the fancy things for a little tiny pleasant thing. My grandmother would be very proud of me for using the spoons the way I do. Doing a load of laundry is an unpleasant thing, but it feels even better if you do it all the way through from start to finish. But if you just moved it from the washing machine to the dryer, congratulations. You don't have to wash it
on the first round.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's self-care.
I mean, that right there.
Meal prepping. Listen, I can confirm this sucks. When I was teaching, I meal prepped and it sucked because you're kind of confined to what you can and can't. Well, maybe I was because I can't cook, but I didn't like it. But can confirm it made my week easier.
It's
because
true.
Seriously, Tuesday morning, Caitlin hated when there was no lunch pre-made. So there we go. Along with that, doing the other things at night that need to be done for you to get out the door in the morning, making sure your keys are in the right place, setting out your clothes if you're somebody who struggles with what to wear, filling your water bottle so you're not like standing there going, oh my gosh, I'm late, but this water bottle takes forever to fill. Doing things like that suck because all you want to do is just go to bed, but you can't because you have to finish these things. That's self-care because you're prioritizing yourself tomorrow, and that's an okay thing to do. Finally, making that stupid phone call you've been meaning to make, booking the appointment, right? That
I have so many of those.
Oh my gosh, me too. And one of them is like a vet appointment. Like what?
Same.
I love my animals and I have not made this appointment for like 2 years. I need to just get them to the vet. Or sending the email that you really didn't want to send. Or, gathering all your tax documents and finally scanning them together. Ugh. All of that stuff. The things that you need a body double for.
Yeah. That
suck to do, but you'll get them done eventually. That's what I mean. Exercise. Listen,
yes.
I'm reminded of the line from Ann Perkins where she's telling Chris Traeger, you made me jog. And he's like, jogging's fun. And she's like, no, it's not. Like, nobody likes it, which, some people do. But for most of us that are probably listening to this, exercise is a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Especially cardio, which I hate. So there you go. That's why I liked the boxing workout because it doesn't feel like a crappy cardio session. And this one, crying.
Listen, sometimes that ugly cry just feels so damn good.
Right? And I'm not referring to like the kind of cry that's like the grief, devastation sort of cry.
Right.
I'm referring to the one where you just, this is me, watching the Thanksgiving Day parade because it was on. And you started to cry when Santa Claus was going by or just because you happened to see, the Backstreet Boys lip syncing. Those things make me cry. Not gonna lie. I cry all the time about stuff like that. And it just feels good when I don't stop it. Like I just let it come out because it's clearly something that I needed to do.
Right.
That is just a short list of things that you may or may not be doing in your life that you need to reframe as self-care. Because if you're taking care of yourself in any way, if you're prioritizing your future self, that is self-care.
Agreed.
Great. Glad you do, because you don't have a choice. This is my show. We'll be back. I'm going to leave that in.
As you should.
For links to resources mentioned in this episode, head on over to ckandgkpodcast.com/blog to find everything you need. And be sure to follow us on social media. Head over to your favorite social media network and find us at CKNGK Podcast. And now, back to the show.
Okay, we're back, folks. And I'm still laughing because I was a snot face to Ariella, and I don't care because she has to tolerate it. This is my platform. She's doing me a solid, but this is my platform. Anyway, I am not funny by myself. What are your obsessions right now?
So, my obsessions, going back to hobbies, are puzzles.
Yes!
Okay, so but here's the thing. This was kind of unintentional. The kid was sick this week, and so he wasn't in school, and we were trying to find something to do, and I was like, why don't we do a puzzle together?
Nice.
And he was into that, and I found, so all the puzzles that we have are like 500 or 1,000 pieces, but I knew he had gotten like a 250 piece, like a set of 4 250 piece puzzles from like my parents or somebody for Christmas at like some year. So they were still like all wrapped up and everything, like not in the gift wrapping, but like whatever.
But like not unsealed. I gotcha.
Right. Yeah. Because I did not know until I opened them up that they are wooden puzzles.
Oh.
So the pieces are tiny. And like I don't know why my parents got my son these, because these are very complicated puzzles.
Maybe it's to keep him busy.
Maybe. But that being said, I found myself like over the 2 days that he was sick, because it's so like physically small. It's like the size of a piece of paper, and it comes with like this little like wooden frame thing for it. And so it was really easy to just like move, you know? It wasn't like this giant thing.
Which is what I end up doing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it made it really easy to like just spend 5-10 minutes like adding a couple of pieces to it. And I'm like, man, I need so many more of these.
Yes.
So,
but do you remember like 2 years ago you talked me out of buying a puzzle table?
Yes.
Well, then I had gum surgery and I bought one anyway.
I do remember
and it has like drawers and stuff, and I haven't used it in a while because I haven't had time to do my puzzle, but I love that. And I just like to have them out as like a thing to do. When I was teaching, I had a table that was just for the puzzle. And when kids were like wanting to talk to me or just needed a break, they would just come over and put a few pieces in. It was just for fun, and it's a nice way to have a conversation while doing something that feels kind of mindless, but also engaging enough that you're not bored with it. I really like them. I think they're fun.
Yeah. So, and I think the reason why I didn't do, because when we had that conversation, I ended up buying a 1,000-piece puzzle at the Science Museum like 3 days later. But the problem is like I don't have a space where it's too big, and I don't have a space where I can just like leave it. But this little one, it was like, you could, it is small enough that you could just like leave it somewhere and like move it around when you need to. So
that's nice.
So now I need another one.
Yeah. Maybe see if the library has one you can borrow before you need.
Fair. True.
And there is a service, I'm sure you have to pay for it, that you can borrow puzzles.
That's neat.
Yeah, I forget what it is. Like Rent the Runway, but for puzzles. I don't know what it's called. But because I talk about puzzles, and because if I say the word puzzle, it's going to show up in my Instagram feed, I'm sure it'll show up. Yeah. My obsession right now is readers, because, ladies and gentlemen, you turn 40, and for some reason, you need readers. I don't know if you need them. I need them.
Oh, I've needed them since I was like 20-something. So...
But I wear glasses, but I wear them for distance. This is new. I got them a while ago, and then I'm trying to like do the thing where I don't use them all the time in case I don't actually need them. Because if you do use them before you're ready, you kind of train your eyes that you need them anyway. So I'm trying not to, but no, we're past that point now, and I can see what's happening on the screen, but if I am working for a long period of time, I have to put them back on.
Yeah,
so I need them.
I've been using them for a really long time for like tension headaches and stuff, like because I've always worked on the computer. But I will say the last time I went and got my eyes checked like a month or so ago, I officially need them now. Like, but I need a very low
like a
prescription. Yes, what she said, and she says it's like really they're tough to kind of find, you know, in places like Target and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't know that. Like, I've been using ones that are much higher than that.
See how you do with the ones that are lower. I mean, the ones I ordered from the A to Z store, and they're blue light blocking, and they're kind of bifocal-ish. So, like, you know, there's like the magnifier at the bottom, and then when I'm using my computer and it's further away, I can look up and have the blue light blocking, but I don't need the magnification for that. So
I might need one for that.
Yeah, I'll find it. If you like aviators, I'm an aviator person.
Sure.
So like I'm into that. I usually wear them while I'm recording, but I'm not today. That's my obsession. What about gems? Do you have?
It is toadflax season in my yard.
You are the biggest nature nerd. Are you sure you're not like some kind of fairy? Like, because I
am a garden fairy.
You are a garden fairy.
Yeah,
sure.
I am a garden fairy for sure. Yeah, it is, I guess, kind of like how in Texas y'all have like bluebell season.
Bluebonnet season.
Sorry. I apologize to all of the Texans.
All the Texans. Offended. That's like my whole audience.
I apologize.
Bluebonnets.
The bluebonnets.
Yes.
So, so I think these flowers are actually in the same kind of family or something.
Oh.
It's blue toadflax, and I had never seen it until I moved to North Carolina and moved into this house, and it's just a wildflower that grows all over my yard in late March, early April, and they are my favorite. So I'm happy that they are starting to bloom.
That's so nice.
And so, yeah, there's like a nice little like crop of them kind of coming up now. And so that makes me happy.
Sure. I can see, I mean, I would say that's self-care too, right? It's like when you have getting like fresh cut flowers for yourself.
Yeah, what I'll do is right before we let the grass go as high as we kind of can before it starts getting a little questionable out there. And right before we get it cut, I will go and like just grab a whole handful of them and bring them into the house and have them.
Oh,
yeah,
that's so nice. I let's add it to the list of little tiny pleasantries. Mine's a little different this time. I have actually a very cool gem for you. Jenny and I are in Harness Magazine.
Awesome.
Yeah. We did an interview with Harness Magazine, and there's a whole, I just got the link like today, a little bit ago, before you and I started recording. So I've been sitting on this for a little bit, but only for like a few minutes before. And you're one of the first people to know. And this is cool. Like harnessmagazine.com is where you go to find it. And right now, I don't know how long it will be there because we're recording this on a few weeks before, it's there. But I'll put it on the website and I'll post it and all that stuff. But anyway, right now it's like on the cover. It's on the homepage of the website.
Cool.
Yeah. It's kind of wild. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's pretty exciting. And I think it'll be really fun to read and kind of get a sense of where this came from. And I don't think we've ever actually talked about, where the idea for this show sort of came from. But if you want to know more about that, you can read it. And it's fun. It's a nice.
That's amazing. I'm so happy for you too.
Thank you. Now, tell your friends about me because you're on my show. And I'm funny. Gosh. And unhinged. So, go read that. And I think it's time. I think we've both become a little unhinged. Speaking of unhinged people, I think you and I both need to go take care of ourselves.
I'm going to go sit outside in the pollen, I guess.
There you go. That sounds great. It's rainy here, but there's little flowers peeking over the fence, and so I might just go sit by where I can see them.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
I won't go sit in the pollen. It's really bad.
That sounds like the opposite of self-care. I'll be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, along those lines, sitting in pollen is a bad choice. And Jenny would tell you not to make bad choices. She would say make good choices. And I'm going to say take care of yourself and find those little moments of things you do where you prioritize your needs and remember that they're self-care. You're nodding, which means that it's time for us to go. So
bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast.
Find us at CKNGK Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.